So I just bought this 2000 Honda Insight for $700 from my friend Phil. Phil is a guy you can find over on EcoModder, who drives the spiritofecomodder.com. He's got his T100 down to like 30 miles a gallon or something. Anyways, he bought this. No, he didn't buy it, and he was gifted this car in 2015 or 16 after our neighbor Dennis died from Lou Gehrig's disease. This car, it originally had a grid charger in it, and then he had taken it to the shop, had them repair the IMA battery pack, but then the repair didn't last, and it started becoming a bit of a money pit for him, and it's been parked for a long time. It's been parked since at least 2017 when the registration went out. So at this point, that's 5 years sitting here not running, and I bought it, and all the tires are flat. So let's see what we can do. All right, so I came out here yesterday, and I got the battery for the core charge, took it, bought a new battery, and what I want to see real quick is how much gas is in the tank, because 5-year-old gas is bad news. There's been a couple times I've bought long-term parked cars and ran them on old gas, trying to burn it out. On an F-150 I bought, the catalytic converter exploded. It just exploded driving it home. And then on one of I had a Honda CRX since I was in high school. The EGR system, when I let it stay parked for a couple years and I brought it back to life, the EGR valve and all the ports that feed the gas into the intake just completely clogged up with carbon. So burning old gas is bad news. But I'm going to start, just so I can look at the gas gauge, I'm going to stick a battery in here. Alright, so I got a brand new size 51 battery. Ooh, that smells like rat pee. Okay, maybe there's a nest in there. Just going to do real light, just set it on there. 207,000 miles, a little over half a tank. That's good. That's good. I'm glad it's not full of old gas. That means I can dilute that a bit. Okay, I just tightened up the battery terminals. Alright, there's oil on the dipstick. There's fluid in the radiator. And we'll put gas in it and try to crank it. I think I popped the gas cap. Alright, wonder. Yeah, so it definitely smells old, but it's not the worst smelling gas I've smelled. Maybe there's hope for it. I just have a few gallons of gas here, but this is bought last week versus 5 years ago, so that should help dilute the bad gas to some degree, hopefully. I'm gonna put in all of it if it will take it. Alright, well that's that. It took all the gas I had. Maybe that'll help in some way. We're just trying to see what we're working with here. Yeah, I'm not sure what we got just yet. So I'm just gonna try to start it, see what happens. Uh-oh, the clutch is dead. It's just flat against the floor. The spring's not even bringing it up. So the clutch was like stuck up top, and when I put my foot on it, it went crunch, and it just fell down. I don't know what that is, but hopefully that'll allow me to activate the safety switch and start it. So neutral. You have to hold it a few seconds. Oh, I don't know what these switches are. So I'm not getting anything from the key. I was reading about these. They say that they're a little different, like that they will start it with the IMA, and if you hold it a few seconds, then sometimes the starter will work. But it's not trying to turn over at all. Alright, so when I turn the starter, when I turn the key, the starter doesn't click. But I hear something back here in the battery kind of go tunk, tunk. It's not very loud. So I'm just going to try turning this off, seeing if that'll force the starter to do something. Okay. I'm getting the relay up front clicking now, but it doesn't sound like the starter solenoid is doing anything. So turning off the battery definitely made it where the 12-volt system is doing something now. Okay, so the starter is underneath the air box, and I'm just gonna try the old tappy tap method. Hopefully I'm tapping on the starter. Okay, let's see if that did anything. Well, that was a nope. I guess I'm gonna take the intake off and get the starter off. Alright, so got this loose finally. And then here is the starter. Pretty easy to get to. We just need to turn it over. Now I'm gonna get the multimeter out, see what's going on. But first, I'm gonna put all this hardware back where it came from, just to ensure I don't get confused. Because this might not be an afternoon project. I might need to come back at this later, you know? And this has been gotten into before because there's missing bolts and stuff. So I don't think there's any part of this car which is like, you know, virgin and brand new to me. And that's always scary, you know. I mean, this is what happens with cars this age. People have to work on them, but I always find it nerve-wracking getting into something where maybe somebody wasn't real careful. All these missing bolts and stuff for convenience. Like, what sort of shortcuts have they taken? So I don't think this starter has a solenoid. I don't see it anywhere. Or it's a remote solenoid. Wonder where it could be. All right, here's where we are. So I'm going to just jump the starter. I've already tested it, so it does work, but I'll show you. So I'm not getting any positive signal out of this when I turn the key. But if I give positive to the starter, it wants to turn over. So I'm going to turn the ignition on and see what happens. All right, ignition is on. It's in neutral. Let's just see if it tries to do anything. Okay, we got a running inside. Okay, so it's making a funny noise, but that's the sound of the air coming into the intake. But it's running nice. Running real nice. 5-year-old gas. Alright, gonna set this to DC voltage. Hey, it's charging a little bit because the battery when it's off is 12.3 and now it's up to 13. So it's charging the battery. Wow. What we have is a working Honda Insight, a running Honda Insight, where the key doesn't seem to do anything for the starter. And I want to be able to drive this home so I can work on it in my own space instead of being parked out here in front of Phil's house, right? So I need to see if the tires will hold air, and I need to see about fixing the clutch. So I'm going to try putting air in the tires. I'm just going to leave this running for now. Let it do its thing. Alright, so I put 30 PSI in all the tires. A couple of them might hold. A couple of them have pretty bad cracks in them, might not. Now we need a clutch. So there's that. Well, I need to go get a 8mm box-in wrench so I can attempt bleeding the clutch. And also, since I'm going to town, I'm going to take the tire that won't hold air and have that replaced. So it does look like the clutch has come back to life now that I got my 8mm. I opened up the bleeder valve, the little Zerk, and nothing was coming out. So by hand, I just sort of pumped the clutch pedal, and nothing, and I got a little more vigorous, and I was getting a little fussy with it, and then all of a sudden it just the clutch cylinder sucked up a bunch of fluid and expressed it through the line and erupted out here. I walked around, closed it off, and now it feels like the clutch is mostly back, like 80% or so. So I need to bleed it, but the clutch came back I've ordered 2 tires because that tire that I saw online that said was in stock had actually been reserved by someone with a down payment. So I went ahead and ordered 2 that will be here tomorrow. So I'm going to replace the front tires. But I'm thinking I can drive this thing to my driveway tomorrow, and then I can see about tackling the battery. I'm going to try the old grid charge, discharge method. See if that'll bring it back to life. It really might, because the guy I'm buying this from, he had some of the batteries in his pack replaced that were real bad. And, you know, 207,000 miles on the car is low mileage. So the pack might respond real well to the grid charge method. We'll see. Alright, where I got my last tire here. I'll be back tomorrow to drive this thing home. But look who's back. We got the spirit of ecomodder.com. This is Phil's truck, and he's got plans to get it up to 40 miles a gallon, and it's a real one-ton pickup truck. That's pretty cool. Laters, yeah. More tomorrow. All right, I'm back, and it's the next day. I got my what are these? Bridgestone Potenza RE92s. I hope this is what I was supposed to get. They say it's important to keep the original equipment tires because they're a low rolling resistance tire, and they actually make a big difference in the fuel economy. And that's the whole point of me buying this, is I want it to be at least as good as it was when it was new. So I got 2 of these tires, and I put them both on the front, and then the rear tires look to be a little bit better shape than the front tires. So I'm going to try making it home. I just have to go maybe 4 miles or so. And I'll be running solely on battery power. You know, 12-volt battery power. No charging of the battery. So hopefully I haven't overdone it yesterday, because I ran this car for about an hour, just letting it idle and stuff. So I hope I haven't zapped the 12-volt too much to get this done. I'm just going to tighten these up a bit. Now it's sitting on the ground instead of the jack. Let's do a star pattern. Why not? Alright, so I'm going to put some seafoam in. I got a call from a buddy last night who's a car hoarder. Literally has 1,000 cars parked at his farm. And he's like, do yourself a favor right now and put some seafoam in. It'll save you from having injector problems and whatever. And I'm going to take his word for it. See if I can do this without making a mess. Oh yeah. I'm just going to dump the whole can in. It says it only needs 1 ounce to stabilize fuel, and a 50-50 mix if you want to clean injectors. And it's a 16-ounce can, 10-gallon tank maybe, I don't actually know. So we'll just be a little bit strong on it for fuel stabilizing. I'm going to leave the fender shrouds off, just because these tires are old enough. They're, even on a short drive like what I'm doing, they could pop, and I don't want to damage the thing, and it'd be easier to change the tire. I did air up the spare to 60 psi, so I think it's time to try it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and jump start this thing. I've been literally using the lead off of my my multimeter. So one end goes on the small wire on the starter. I got the ignition on, so it should start. The other one here. I'm just going to put the airbox loose on here for now, just to keep any crud from flying in there. I'm just going to let it ride like that for now. Maiden voyage, let's see. Brake check. The brakes are not completely there right now. They're very rusty. I gotta rub that off. But overall, there's enough. There's enough to go a few miles. Let's see. This might be terrible video quality, shaking like bacon on these gravel roads. I'm still in first, going 12 miles an hour. Ooh, nice tall gears. Love it. All right, we're gonna do a brake check. See how these brakes go. All right, that rubbed off quite a bit of rust, I'm sure. I've already stalled it once, whoops. As I was pulling out of his driveway, I stalled it and I had to fire it back up. That's why you got that extra shot of me pulling out of his driveway. All right, we're about to pull out onto a faster street. This thing is misfiring a little bit at low RPMs, but we're gonna go for it. All right, we're doing this. I'm gonna just wrap the engine up a bit, maybe shift at 4 or something. All right, there's one. All right, battery lights on. I think we're losing voltage, but we just gotta go a few more miles. All right, we're going 46. All right, so far so good. We're in the 50s. 50 miles an hour. Oh my God. We're losing speed in third gear going up a hill with antique gas. So let's downshift to second. Do it? Okay, second. Oh, second does. Wow. I don't really want to wrap it up too tight. But that's got some acceleration to it. Okay. Got back up in the power band a little bit. Third gear, 3,500 RPM. We're doing this thing. Nice. I can't believe it. This is pretty exciting. The 12 volt battery light has just gone out. Maybe it's because I was. Oh yeah, it stops charging over 4,000 RPM, doesn't it? Okay, to an intersection. Let's pay attention. Don't want to wreck it on our first time out without insurance. Also, don't want to tailgate anybody while the brakes are sketchy. All right, let's try a downshift. Downshift into second. So that's a little low. Yeah, it would really be nice to have the electric assist for downshifting into second and taking a turn, because it, you know, even 15 miles an hour in second is like near 1,000 RPM. You're way out of the power band of this little 1 liter VTEC. It's getting hot. Let's see if the AC works. Mode. Fan. I think it does. Let's blow it on the feet though. Oh yeah, come out the top. Nice. Oh, got air conditioning. I haven't had air conditioning in a long time. I think the air conditioning in my 4Runner blew up 4 years ago. So, oh, this is gonna be sick. Unless I stall in front of all these people. Oh my God, is school getting out right now? I hope there's not any police here. Shit. I thought I was being sneaky, zigging and zagging through town, but they're unloading kids right now. Yeah, there's just a few little misfires in the engine running on this old gas. I don't see any police. I can't believe it. I mean, just yesterday, this thing, it looked like it was going to be a big hassle. The battery still might be a big hassle, but I was terrified. You know, I was like, oh no, 5 or 6 year old gas. That's gonna be a nightmare. But apparently, enough of it stayed liquid that it didn't ruin everything. Because when it goes to like the straight like varnish, like just that coating that clogs every tube and every, I don't know, injector and surface, that was a nightmare. Whoa. Ooh, we're almost home. Okay, I need to move my truck out of the way so I can park this one in the position of prominence by the garage. I did it. I'm home. I'm home in the Insight. After 5 years since the registration expired, just fired right up and drove. Needed a little bit of, TLC, but man, I mean, this is the generation of Honda that came out when I was in high school. I bought the previous generation. My first Honda, which was my primary car in high school. I went through a lot of cars, but it's the one I kept for like 8 or 9 years, was a CRX HF. And I eventually just got tired of it, and I gave it to one of my friend's kids when he was moving out of home for the first time. And I regretted it, but I felt like it was going to a good home, and he got several years of use out of it before it got wrecked. But I loved it. I love the freedom of 50 miles a gallon on the highway, and this thing is going to deliver even more. But in high school, I drove down to Dallas to the Honda dealership that had these sitting in the lot, and I just asked them, hey, can I just look at it and open the hood and sit in it, see what it's like, because I can't afford to buy it. Like, oh yeah, here you go, kid. So this is sort of the fulfillment of a very long dream of mine. But first we got to figure out these batteries, and that's going to be a story for a different video. So anyways, this concludes this video. Picking up a 22-year-old car, which is still one of the most fuel efficient ways for 1 or 2 people to travel in a car that's ever been made. And not only was it 22 years old, it's set for 5 years unused, and it just fires up and drives. So anyways, this Honda wants to run, and I'm going to try to provide it that opportunity. If you enjoyed this video, please thumbs up the video, and thank you for watching. Hope you got some enjoyment out of this, because this is pretty cool. All right, y'all be good. Catch you later.